Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the NTT Indycar Open Series here at Road Atlanta. I am Austin Knight. I am joined by Marco Barbonera, and today is a smaller field than we had at Sonoma, but there is a good reason why. We have inspired the IndyCar iRacing community to actually make a second split for the first time in probably a long time since our oval races back on the normal days. But yeah, two splits happened up, so we're showing you the top 14 drivers here today with a strength of field I rating of, I believe, like 3,000, right?
Yes, exactly, Austin. It's 3,265, if my calculations are correct. And all of the drivers that have been at the front of the field in the past few weeks are here with us tonight, as qualifying is just about over, as we get ready to end this back-to-back road course swing that we are having in the series, which usually alternates between road courses and ovals. But for this couple of weeks, we had two very, very good road courses, of course. Last week Sonoma, and this week it's going to be here Road Atlanta, as the starting grid should be on your screen right now.
Yes, it is. It's a familiar name. Familiar names on the top row. It's Oysen Walsh and Mark Usher taking first and second spot. We saw him have a good race till the very end. From California, Kikapati and Henry Bennett. Those two are obviously strong favorites for the field today. Shane Burke, Sherwin van der Sloot, I am Keyman, Rafael Acuesta, the crazy Brazilian as you called him. John Downing is back, still looking to come back from that very hard race in Phoenix. Paul Morgan, Laura Gearhart is also making her return. Renee Sikora in 13th, and on the back row with them is Daniel Brasham. And we've seen all these names before, and I'm trying to see any new names. I am Keyman is probably the newest one in 7th place.
Absolutely, yes. Quality field is nice to see teammates. You see, for example, here Burke, and I think that is Van der Sloot.
Yes, it is.
With their identical liveries for Simtech Motorsports. Nice to have them back. Yeah,
Simtech had a strong showing. They're also a third Simtech car down in the field. That, I believe, is the car of, I think, Paul Morgan.
As we are about to head into the pace lap. So all the drivers should be on the grid and we should be ready to go. Everyone is gridded. This is going to be fun. Long pace lap, but we are used to it nowadays, you know. So it's not the longest track in the world, so we can enjoy the beautiful scenery as the cars are running around finally for this 43 laps event. So it's going to be a one-stopper if you can save some fuel, or a two-stopper if you are not very good on your fuel economy. Speaking of which, let's get a look at the weather.
Weather here is a beautiful 72 degrees in the air at 77 degrees on the track in Fahrenheit. It's currently late in the afternoon. We got a bit of clouds in the sky, 10 miles per hour wind gusts. Perfect day to watch a good IndyCar race if you're here at Road Atlanta, which I know there are a lot of our viewers are right now, because Petit Le Mans is happening in Atlanta right now. So this track is in all these drivers' heads, and they are going to from Petit Le Mans last week and just practicing for the real life race this week. Road Atlanta is going to be in everybody's heads because, you know, it's Petit Le Mans. How can you not like that race? I was racing at Petit Le Mans past weekend, and I passed into Arjun Kadapati. He passed me. He's much faster than me, so he knows this track better than I do.
Yeah,
for sure all these guys know this track better than I do.
we have to thank David Melnarovic in his weekly thread on the iRacing Dallara iRating forums, giving us all the informations about fuel mileage and of course helping us promote this broadcast. He barely made it into this race, number 14 out of 14 cars. So a very small but very competitive field, this one, and I'm sure we'll have a fantastic battles all over the field. The lowest I-rated driver, Melnarovic, is at 2,227, so you know it's a very strong field. At the opposite end of the spectrum, Henry Bennett with his 6,300 I-rating. As we are just about ready to go with the Fortnite car, the familiar colors of Dave Walsh leading the way in front of... it's the last two race winners, Walsh and Usher. Let's see who gets the better jump.
Well, race number 3 is about to go live, and we're going green racing here at Road Atlanta. Walsh leads out Usher as Henry Bennett also takes out Jordan Catapati. Catapati and Walsh going down the inside. They're 2x2 heading into turn 1. No chaos that I can see. A little bit of cars going off the track. That is Keyman spinning around, and he has had a disastrous start, but luckily everyone has kept all 4 wheels on the car.
Yes, seems like just a spin, maybe a bit of contact for Keyman as the cars are heading onto the backstretch. Well, no, onto the first straight that basically divides the track in half. And now becomes the second part of the track. These two right-handers here, and then the long straight. We will see, I think, a lot of overtakes here. Of course, Austin, and the push to pass will be important, as Laura Gerhardt has gone wide in the second of the two right-handers. Let's jump on board with Arjuna Kankipati, the driver from California of Indian origin, proudly representing both flags, and he is very close to the top two guys, of course, driving for Reverend Racing. As we have a slow car here.
Ooh, that is Daniel Bergenson. He's going slow. He's not pitting, so I believe this might have just been a spin going into the brake zone. I expect a lockup and a spin happening up right here as we recreate the F1 Monza shot. And yes.
Oh, now Melnarovic is pointing in the wrong direction.
The man with all the information having a bit of a mistake here. I believe this might just be a downforce issue, hopping up onto those curves into this situation. Not expecting, yep, just loses it on his own. And everyone gets around him cleanly. Maybe a bit of slowdown penalties for people, but the top 4 starting to break away from everyone. We got Walsh, Usher, Kendapati, and Bennett. Our top 4, and it's surprising to see Bennett just not in this top 3.
Yeah, he's trying to keep close taps with his opponents, as we have Usher with the fastest lap of the race, as per usual in the third lap the overlay goes crazy, and then he should be back in a few seconds to show the right position. So no, Berensen is not leading this race.
Yeah. So, as we ignore our timing screen for the next couple moments, as everyone goes down this wonderfully flowing section, down the hill. It's so much fun coming down here at Road Atlanta as Walsh leads it along. And actually, Walsh has pulled off a big lead to Mark. It's by 7/10 as our battle box 4 first shows our top 4 drivers, Walsh, Usher, Ketapati, and Bennett going down. It's going to be a question of when are you going to use your push to pass on this long back straight, or if you're going to use it.
You know, Austin, it is possible that going back to what we were saying earlier in the opening of the broadcast, maybe Bennett is already saving some fuel. You know, you can do it in many parts of the race. Maybe he's trying to do it straight away, so keeping a good rhythm and trying to stay as close as possible without losing touch with the top 3. Of course, remember last week. Remember last week that, you know, we were surprised because Mark Asher came from a very bad qualifying and he stormed through the field passing and then pulling away from Bennett as well in a very convincing, and I would say, you know, not because he's a bad driver, he's the number 2 I-rated driver in the race, but you know, I was surprised how much quicker he was even compared to Bennett. So let's see if Bennett, because, you know, of course we have to see if and when these 3 guys start pushing. Like we were saying last week, is also a bit sad that with the basically the new way the car is. Oh
no! Usher has lost it, and he gets collected by Kenkapati. There might be damage on his car. I don't see any, but he is turning that wheel just a bit, but a big heart and mouth moment as Usher and Bennett going side by side. We were talking about Usher's pace, but we were kind of questioning his consistency, and that showed right there. Let's take a replay as what happened. I believe he just lost it on his own, but there might have been contact on the recovery as, great reflexes by Kenkapati to avoid collision with Usher. Now, onto Bennett's pace. We saw this happen with Willpower and at Laguna Seca in real life, where he took the first opening laps a bit slower, took his tires a bit longer, and then he was flying through the race in the second part of the race. This might be what Bennett's trying to do, outstint the guys up at the front. But since everyone's kind of broken up from Walsh can start taking it a bit easy and this let the second through fourth guys fight it out as we look at the battle for fifth between the Simtech cars of Burke and Vandersloot with Ralph Acuesta, the crazy Brazilian, on the back end of this 3-way fight.
You know, Austin, looking at the replay from up above, it seems like there was actually no contact. And looking at up close at the cars, I saw the rear end shot from Mark Asher's car and the roll bar shot for Kenkapati. Cars seems to be okay, so maybe we can see it once again.
Yeah, there was no contact I saw between the cars. It was just a great reflexing move. I believe from our original camera shot, there looked like a big contact, but as we go into slow motion here, look at the wheel reaction.
No, I think it was just, you see, the net code predicted a collision that wasn't there, luckily. And so both cars are unbelievably okay. So that's great driving from these two, you know, especially Kenkapati. You really don't expect, especially from a driver like Mark Asher, a mistake like that. As in the chat, they are already saying Kenkapati, the people's choice. So already we are having some big fan clubs for these drivers, and we are very happy.
Yeah, I believe the Kenkapati fan club. He already has 2 groups of people, one entire nation behind him, the Nation of India, and then the local California club. They absolutely love the guy. John Downing, big fan clubs, not having the best of races. Currently just sitting in 8th place. He did move up 1 spot from the start, but that's because of Doed's Melikarovic's issue as we look at Paul Morgan and Daniel Bergeson. And Daniel's our biggest mover today, moving up 4 spots. And now, he did have an issue at the start.
Yeah, he did. You know, if I'm not mistaken, Downing a bit stronger on the ovals as compared to the road. So of course that's why this series is so beautiful, because it's very tough to be competitive on both sides, you know, of the coin. As here comes Berenson on the inside of the chicane. It should be 11A and 11B, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh.
Oh! It was a great switchback move by Morgan, and Paul Morgan for Simtech keeps 9th place. That is defensive driving at its best, letting him have the inside, and again with the switchback as he opens up the inside line once more for turn 1, but there's no switchback left for Paul Morgan as Daniel Bergeson gets P9, and we'll see if he can chase him down back as they go into this roller coaster of flowing turns.
Still Burke and Vandersloot, the 2 teammates very close, and so is Mark Asher. And Mark Asher is actually trying to close the gap once again to Kankipati. So the last lap, Asher was 0.2 of a second faster. The fastest guy in the top 4 was Dave Walsh. As I think Vandersloot, no, he's okay. Shikora is having some issues going wide there, but nothing major. So let's see the lap times. Bennett, fastest lap of the race. He's starting to push Austin 1:04.3. And Asher is personal best.
Yeah, that is a absolutely crazy lap by Henry Bennett, and he's going to... I think he's starting to see red. He's ran the amount of laps that he wanted to run in that lower fuel mode, and now he's igniting the tires. No, he's lighting the fires and, yeah, ripping the tires. I'm trying to quote Top Gun here, and I completely failed at it.
Now a little bit of a mistake from Asher, going wide there. So let's jump on board with number 1, Henry Bennett, as he takes all the gap, maybe a bit of push to pass, side by side for the overtake.
Yeah, there was definitely push to pass right here in the top split as Bennett makes a beautiful move up the inside on the straight, had the switch, but look at Usher. Usher's going to try to come back right now. Down on the front straight, is Bennett going to defend on the inside, or is Usher going to try his own move? He's going to actually hold off of that. That's heads up driving by Usher. Doesn't want to force a incident with Bennett in these opening laps. Still, you have one more pit stop left to go, or 2 if you're just outright pushing, which I believe what Oisin Walsh is doing. He has not let up the pace in this top split race.
Fantastic battle between the top 2 drivers in the room, and it's not over here. Now Mark Asher maybe will try to get some revenge on his rival. Maybe now himself using push to pass. You know, we of course next week this won't be an issue, but I will look into making a camera pack that shows us the troll bar, because I think that will now flash on and off when you use push to pass.
Well, here comes Usher. He's sitting in the draft. He's not using it. Maybe Bennett used push to pass to defend that position as Bennett lunges way off the late brakes, and it just shot way off from Usher. But Usher is going to try to fight back as much as he can as Bennett stays in P3. And which one of these guys set the fastest lap? It was Bennett. That late charge out of the chicane was all he needed, but Bennett is now, once again, under pressure by Usher as they take a little bit of different lines heading into this chicane.
But both of them... Ooh, yeah, both of them slower. Slower than Kankipati, but basically lapping the same lap times as the race leader. So, but... Oh, here comes Usher around once again.
Oh, that is unfortunate. His second spin of the race, and in completely different spot. First time was in the braking zone. Second time right there. I believe this is the first time that we're seeing it once more, as here is the second time going wide off those curves, catching up to Bennett, and it's just this turn.
And now I see some damage on his car.
Curb. He does have damage on his car. That front left wing a bit bent up. Going to give him a bit of extra downforce.
Maybe he got the damage here. Let's see. Sorry, Austin, because it certainly wasn't there after the contact. It wasn't there here.
It was a curb. It was a curb.
You are absolutely right.
He went wide on that curb coming out of the roller coaster section. And that wide curb, once you head up onto that curb and then head off, you will get that damage on your front left wing. I've seen it so many times on our GT cars over the weekend in Petit Le Mans. So it's a common damage spot for to get on up on that curve and get a bit of damage.
So the damage is still there. So this is definitely real damage, and of course Mark Asher making life hard for himself with a couple of mistakes. Certainly we have to deal with some big understeer. He will have to of course try and hold on until the pit stop, but of course when you have some aero damage, your car will also burn more fuel. So if you want to do some fuel saving, you have to do it in the second part of the races. Berensen now trying to attack Downing.
Berensen trying to make it 6 spots, gets back into the thing, and that might have been a mistake, and yes it was. That was an aggressive move back into the line as flying past him as a Simtech car, getting back of Paul Morgan. Now Bergson looked for his 6th overtake, but he knew that he couldn't do it. He got back into the back end of the car ahead, and just that sudden move just upset the car going to the braking zone. That made him just go spinning around. We're back on board with Usher with that damaged front wing. Seeing how he takes this these turns now, and it's a bit way slower than he really wants to be. He's shifting down to first gear, trying to get as much speed out of there, but he's definitely struggling with that bent front wing.
Let's see the comparison between himself and the driver in front of him.
That's no surprise. Lap 11 is when he had that incident. Maybe Bennett had a bit of a thing, but that was...
Now he's gaining. How does that work? No, it can be possible.
He is gaining. Bennett's last lap was
1:05. Yes, of course.
So Bennett is gone back into fuel saving mode, or he was pushing like crazy. He's slowing down once more, and I think this might just be this crazy side of Mark Usher we saw in Sonoma after having a bad qualifying. Him pushing again as Burrison is spun around in the top chicane in the hilly section, and he's actually taking the escape road out.
Yeah, I think he went for a little detour. Let's see the replay.
Is this a replay of lap 1 kind of incident, or did he hit this curb? Okay, yeah, he just completely missed that braking zone.
Oh, Usher with a spin again.
Oh. He needs to be more careful if he wants to finish this race. That's his 3rd mistake so far. Spinning once again in this braking zone.
Same, no, all different mistake this time.
Same corners.
Same corner.
Same corner, same mistake.
So, Melnarovic keeps trying a recovery drive. He is now up into P12, getting past Radek Shikora, and he is now looking to get to Daniel Berensen, even though Berensen is almost 20 seconds in front of him, as the two teammates here running together, Simtech Motorsports, Burke and Van der Sloot, having their race very calm, cool, and collected, and trying to bring home, of course, it's championship points, it's a rating that you can gain and lose, and of course, so far the biggest gainer will be our race leader, Oisin Walsh or Dave Walsh. Call him, when I first met him, he was Dave Walsh. Now he's changed his name. But as you see, he goes past Gerard there. He would gain 73 A rating, more or less, from this race. So he's looking forward to big championship points and some more A rating in the bag, as Usher just had the fastest 4th sector of the race. So a very weird race for Usher, because he has been very fast. He's made 3 mistakes. He has some damage, so it's
he's being caught by with these constant mistakes. He is being caught by the Simtech guys, who are on the back straight right now, and just 2-3 seconds behind of Usher, who is definitely struggling on these straights. But Usher is definitely pushing as hard as he can. Top fuel mix, definitely. Top engine pushing, because certainly Sonoma was something to go by. He is someone that is not giving up, but from his pushing in Road Atlanta, he's just been so unstable, as Bennett has just been absolutely flowing now. So we go into the battle for 9th. I am Keyman and Paul Morgan having a little bit of a scrap right now. The other Simtech car outside of its friends, as here comes Keyman first time, making a move up the inside, stop aside into turn 1. Keyman flows into P9.
Beautiful move there. Keyman, of course, recovering, as Morgan uses the alternative route once again. He's going to get a slowdown for that.
As we rejoin his teammates back up in 5th and 6th spot, as they've just been sitting at 5th to 6th this entire race.
Yes, they basically, together with Shikora and Walsh, they are the only drivers who have not changed their position since the race started. They have been there, they are not attacking each other, they are saving fuel and waiting for things to happen. And, you know, when you know you don't want to risk, you know, in silly, you know, crazy fast laps, your position, your car, you want to keep it clean. That's not a bad strategy to have. One battle that we are going to have very soon, I think, it's this one, because as you can see from this camera shot, Henry Bennett is getting closer and closer to the rearview mirror of Arjuna Kankipati, and this will be a great fight, because these are two super quick drivers. Right now, Walsh is lapping... just as I say that, here we go with the overtake. So Vandersloot gets, I think, the...
Team orders.
You know, team order to pass his teammate. So Bennett is the and Usher are lapping very, very close. Sorry, I am very much mistaken, because I keep reading the best lap times and not the last lap times. On this last lap, Bennett was 0.8 of a second. Yeah, very, very quick, 1:05.2 for Walsh. So Bennett is pushing super hard, and we might see, you know, it's going to be tough for him, because of course he lost a lot of time in that battle with Usher, and now we will have to attack Kankipati, and provided he makes that move, which is not a given, he will then have to, you know, try and catch Dave Walsh, who probably is enjoying a little bit of coffee there at the front and saving as much fuel as he can to make it a one-stopper.
You're looking back at the battle for 10th between two drivers that made some very bad mistakes to try to recover that. Bergson and Morgan. We saw Morgan when he was in that battle with Keyman. This missed the braking zone and take a very adventurous off track and a slowdown penalty, as Bergson was involved in a opening lap off track excursion, as well as Sakura is letting Bennett and Kankipati by in a very unique way.
Oh yes, he did. You know, he took the, once again, the scenic route, which is, you know, it's beautiful here in Brazelton, Georgia. It's a beautiful, beautiful scenery here with all the trees, with all the nature, and one of the few tracks in racing to have two pit lanes. You know, both. I don't know if they are both working, but certainly they are both.
Currently, it's just one.
There's a speed limit in the other pit lane. I found the hard way a few years ago.
Yeah, currently there is one on iRacing. There is one, but when I raced there in real life, there was two, and they used it for separate differences. One was for clubs events, and one was for the actual professional events. But it was very confusing in the driver's briefing that says, this pit lane is not the one you go into. If you go down this one, just stop. As I believe Sakura is our first driver in the pits.
He is. Here he comes.
Oh, he's got a bit of damage on his front wing.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that run through the grass he had just had a few moments ago to let the leaders by. Kiban is also in.
Keeman and Bergeson. Oh, yeah. Keeman is in, as well as Paul Morgan heading into the pits. So this is where strategy is going to head in. We're going to be knowing when these guys wait into the pit stop and who is going to be at a advantage or not.
So let's see the leaders. So let's see what they do. Walsh stays out. Oh, Melnarovic with another issue at the chicane. Kankipati goes in. So going for the undercut. And same is for Bennett. And I think Usher should be in, at least to repair the damage. And then, you know, what happens, happens.
Yeah, definitely what happens will happen, as Kankipati's in the pits. Bennett is in the pits. So somebody we thought was going to go a bit longer is in the pits now. But Usher, he stays out.
So let's see. They are, you know, next to each other in their pit stall. Both the Californian driver and the driver from UK and Ireland club. And here we go. positions will stay the same. There were around 2 seconds between the pair of them as they entered the pits, and the gap has increased.
Yeah, maybe there was a little bit more fuel taking in to Bennett's car, as Bennett has fallen down 2 spots and he's down in the 6th place.
Another
Oh wait, that's
battle...
because people stayed out.
Yeah. Another battle was between Aquesta and Downing, and same here. A little bit of a longer stop for Downing this time around. And here comes Dave Walsh. Once again, just like last week, a very short lap. So things are happening quite quickly. We are already at the halfway point of the event.
Got to keep our head on a swivel here at Road Atlanta. Things could change in an instant. Mark Usher is finally going into the pits. I believe he is joined by Shane Burke. Vandersloot for Simtech takes over the lead here. And Vandersloot is going to be very interesting to watch because he was running with Burke, his teammate, and they were very good with each other. As here comes Walsh out of the pits. Gap to Vandersloot ahead is 6 seconds. So he's going to try to use the overcut as an advantage as we're looking at these drivers coming out of the pit lane.
There we go. As expected, Burke gets past Asher because when you change the front wing, you get 5 to 7 seconds extra in the pit stop. And of course, that made a very, very long stop. So now Aquesta goes by as well. Let's see where Downing is. No, so Asher will be, you know, basically we'll have to pass a lot of cars now because that extra pit stop. And of course, that extra time spent in the pits. And of course, when you, when you have to push hard and pass a lot of drivers, you also have to consume more fuel. Here comes Vandersloot.
Vandersloot, last car to go into the pit lane. As while we were doing that, Daniel Burson actually towed back into the pit lane. That's why he's showing up 2 pit stops for him. But Reed taking the lead and back for the battle for first place. Walsh and Kikapati after that crazy pit stop. We'll see which of these two are the best. They went 22 laps in 1 stop. They're about to go 22 more again as we're past halfway point here at Road Atlanta. It's going to be a crazy, crazy fight for the lead. So there's a car going... Oh, that is Sykora. I am sorry. Oh, no.
Vandersloot and Asher both making mistakes. And that was very, very bad because Vandersloot had a fantastic run through the pit stop. He was sitting in 4th place. And that really, hopefully didn't catch the wall or something. Let's see.
I think he's just missed the breaking point.
Talk about undoing your good strategy. Oh, he made a mistake there.
That's
okay.
His oversteer. That's his oversteer.
Yeah. Let's see what Mark Asher did.
Missed breaking point.
You can go on for days in that grass, you know?
Yeah, I can run for days, cut the lawn as much as you want. Not going to be as efficient as a deer, I must say. As Kintapati is definitely closing down on Oisin Walsh. He set a faster Sector 1 and Sector 2 to Walsh and Sector 3 as well. Kintapati is closing in as Aquesta takes a trip into the grass.
And he has some front wing damage, I guess. Yes, he has.
Oh, yeah.
So he was
Is
battling
this a new
with...
Joker lap?
Oh, well, he already was... Oh.
Yeah, he already had it. Where'd he get that from?
It has to be fairly recent because he just went into pits. Now he was missing... oh, well.
Was it a curb?
Let's see here. Protege of Marco Brazil. Oh! Bang!
I believe that is our first multi-car incident of this race.
That was Sykora, I think.
Yeah, Sykora went into the wrong pits there.
And here comes Aquesta, of course, having to repair that front wing damage. He will also, I think, top up with fuel just to be safe, and then push like crazy for the final few laps of the race. So, 1 second between
hard.
the leaders. Yeah, moderately hard.
Yeah, and Ken Capati is definitely closing it. He has the draft. He has the... I think he has the tires on him. Yeah, Ken Capati has the better tire numbers in the heat because he went in a lap earlier than Walsh. So the undercut for Ken Capati is technically working, but Walsh through this opening sector is so quick through here. And Ken Capati may have had a bit of a mistake getting up onto one of those curves, slowing him down just a tad bit. But in the short shoot right now, we're going to see who has the better aero setup between Walsh and Ken Capati, and who might be using a... Oh, Walsh has damage! I think Walsh has... Nope, I'm seeing things again. That Fortnite livery is just making me see things.
Where did you see the damage? Front, rear, side?
I saw the front wing merge with the side pod opening, and I thought that was the front wing just sticking way up. But though I realized that his car is playing tricks on me again.
Yeah, front wing seems okay. Ken Capati fastest lap of the race, 1:04.219. He's certainly trying his best. Bennett 1:05.0. So lifting a bit. Let's see Burke, who went past his teammate there, but the rest of the field is so far away.
Oh yeah, top four is on a... Yeah, top four, technically top two is on a completely different track right now. Different part of the track as everyone else is just now coming across the front line, setting 105s, 105.8s, 105.7s, 104 for Usher. But Usher's been having a lot of struggles right now as Ken Capati drops back to a second in that draft. But now look at that time starting to fall down on the straight. Ken Capati's car is definitely set up for straight line speed because he closed up on the straight by 0.2 of a second.
Let's jump on board with him for a lap.
Driving for Reverend Racing, Ken Capati, we saw him show a lot of his skills in his home track in Sonoma. But it's certainly looking like Road Atlanta is another one of his favorites. And I believe he said something that Road Atlanta was definitely a track that he was looking forward to. And it's definitely showing as he's coming out of this sector, not riding high on that curve to avoid damaging that front wing. And he's definitely closing in on Walsh as they head out of the short chute and coming down this monstrous back straight. We might see here Ken Capati use that push to pass to close in on Walsh. So find out that back straight as we have an engine blowout. That is Paul Morgan's engine blowout ahead of him.
Barbecue on the chicane, and that's gonna be distracting for these drivers.
Yeah, it's definitely distracting, especially at particles on high. Morgan dives into the pits. That is the lap car of Laura Gearhart, also ahead of him, and she's going to stay down. So a bit of distraction for Ken Capati and Walsh. You probably saw some yellow, but Walsh sending the fast lap right there, keeping the gap at 1.1 seconds.
So let's see what happened there.
Probably just downshifted way too much. Oh no, there was a car spun up onto the inside there. There was another crash. That was Keyman.
Yeah. And then
right
the engine goes.
All right, I don't know. That's just the engine saying, I give up. As Usher and Vandersloot side by side, and Usher makes a clean pass up the inside.
Austin, this race is going by very quickly. 14 laps to go as they are heading for the chicane once again. The two leaders, at this point, it's a matter of can they make it until the end, because Bennett is, steady on his 1:05 pace, whilst these two guys are going bananas. Purple sectors all the way around. Let's see who is right in the end.
Yeah, Walsh is definitely starting to pull away from Ken Capati. I'm still trying to wonder what happened with Ken Capati's no, not Ken Capati's
Morgan.
with Paul. Yeah, Paul's engine. So I don't know why I
Sometimes,
was thinking of.
if you are a bit too aggressive with the radiator opening sizes, the car can give up on you, midway or 3/4 of the way through. That was true for the old DW12, and this car is basically an evolution of the DW12. So probably even if you don't have any hits, if the car is okay, but keep going. The engine gets hotter and hotter. Maybe after the pit stop, even hotter. Can keep at once again fastest lap of the race, and then boom, there he goes. And hopefully he stopped close to some fans with some steaks, so he could use the engine as a barbecue.
Oh, what I would do for some engine radiator smoking barbecue right now. Well, I now know what I'm having for dinner. Thank you, Marco.
Kaki Patty is
Austin.
So quick in this section in this short shoot, 2 right-handers, and then now firmly in the draft of Walsh.
Yeah, Walsh not pulling away on the straights. Ken Capati not closing in on the straights, as it's, I believe Ken Capati's not using any push pass going down the straight. He's got it right where he wants to as we go to 10 laps remaining here at Road Atlanta. And certainly I must say Morgan Keenan, Sakura, and Beerson are definitely looking forward to next week, as next week we're return to Vegas for the IndyCar Series returns back to Vegas as we are going oval racing once more after a double race on road courses.
10 laps to go, presented by Apex Racing Team.
And SDK live timing software.
Yes, if you want to sponsor the blimp and the 10 laps to go, let us know. And of course on the ovals, the mid-race report, which we will do next week.
Yeah, unlike the real-life IndyCar series, all the road stuff, there is no safety car. There's only local yellow cautions, and we will start having cautions once again next week. Oh no, Ken Capati spun it!
Around!
Ken Capati had him just where he wanted to, and unfortunately, he has spun it. I don't know if his rear end tapped the wall or not. We are going to need a replay following that, but it was on the exit. He just got on the loud pedal just a little bit too soon and a little bit too aggressive. He had Walsh right where he wanted him, got onto the inside curb and just started to lose it right there. And the Reverend Racing Car just tapped the wall. Don't know if that bent the toe link in the back wheel though.
Car should be okay. Let's go on board with him. The steering is straight.
It's fine.
That was so close, but of course this will compromise his race, and once again, just like it happened in his other race he did with us, Dave Walsh, as Asher does a 103.9. Walsh was losing time. The driver in second place coming closer and closer. But Walsh keeps his cool, and the driver in second doesn't. It happened in Phoenix, it happened tonight once again, and this is a great chance for Walsh to get his second win out of 3 in this series, especially since we started broadcasting it. Won the first race in Phoenix, didn't start in Sonoma, and of course this would be, I guess, 2 wins in a row for him.
Yeah, this will definitely be a double win for Walsh, as Usher up the inside on Burke, side-by-side drag race here in Atlanta, up onto the inside, sending it! Yes, he does. What a good move by Mark Usher. Push pass, definitely a factor right there on that straight. But now, can Usher keep this spot as Burke of Simtech Motorsports up onto the inside, trying to get the position back? Yes, he does. Oh, they make contact!
Piña! Good save from Asher.
Right there.
No, it's it's Spanish and damage. That front wing taking some beating today. You know, poor Usher. He has not had the best of luck today. This one was a very hard fight with
I expect a steering wheel
Burke.
being thrown very soon.
Yeah.
So we might need to mute the radio after the race. And that's a lot of damage right there, and a
And
very
also the
hard
side
break
pod.
for Mark
Yeah.
Usher.
Also the side pod, I think, got a little bit of that hit. Let's see from the left rear. We don't have a good angle. But I think that car must have some damage to the side of it.
Yeah, he's not going to bits. All right, Mark is going to finish with some battle scars, or he's not going out without a fight, or he's just lost his mind.
You see my catchphrase already having some fans in the chat. A driver.
Oh, Usher going off the track, and he's actually collected a cone. There's a cone under his car.
Oh man, I was about to tell you that there was not enough cone murdering today. But yeah, we have a cone murder and kidnapping, I think, at the same time.
You see it under the front wing. You see it under the front wing by the front right tire. There is definitely a cone underneath Usher's car. And there it goes.
So, I was talking about the chat. We say hello to Michele Costantini and Erwan Woodstra. Erwan Woods, of course, Mr. Audi from our old broadcast of the Le Mans series. And Michele Costantini, let's just say that we are waiting for you next week in Las Vegas. And if you don't race, we'll have a talk with your boss, which is also our boss. And he will be very upset with you.
As Erwin's putting in the chat, who would win? Anyone going side by side or turn one, or some grassy boy?
You
Currently,
answer that.
Currently, it's some grassy boy, because I believe everybody except for Walsh and maybe Burke have taken a trip around the grass.
Now, the leader lapping John Downing. This was the fight for the win in Phoenix, and of course on road courses. It's a different story, like I said, and you know, but I'm sure that Downing will bounce back next week. Of course, it's going to be chaotic around Las Vegas, Austin. A very, very, very small, you know, narrow racetrack, and there's going to be plenty of participation, of course. And I'm sure those drivers who are waiting for an oval race after these 2 weeks of road course racing, and you know, finally knowing, basically now everyone knows, thankfully, that there's a broadcast on Friday nights. It's going to be a very, very exciting race, and this is not a prediction, it's a spoiler.
I got it. It's definitely going to be a spoiler. Next week is going to be a completely change of pace and change of field, as I believe we're going to have a... We finally had 2 splits in one race. Are we going for 3 next week?
It's a stretch. It's a stretch, but I think we're going to see big numbers. Las Vegas is very, very popular among oval racers, and of course, it's difficult. Apart from the 2 a.m. European time slot, to have a big strength of field race, and we are happy to provide it, as once again it's Simtech versus Mark Usher, which has been a very hard battle tonight.
Yeah, Vandersloot just staying behind of Usher, not going to try to make a lot of moves here. Just going to wait for the right opportunity. He had an opportunity to try it on the front straight, as Usher is giving him the outside line. Just defending on the inside, but here comes Vandersloot around the outside. Side by side they go.
They touch again and disqualified.
Oh no, Usher's been disqualified.
Man, talk about a bad day for Mark Usher. Very, very unlucky.
Disqualified, crashed into, multiple mistakes. If I was Mark Usher, I would be just livid right now, as he gave him room, and just unfortunate, a little bit of a tap. That's a 4x, that's a 1x, and then that's 17x, and then puff.
Or maybe he was kidnapped by those cones in revenge for all the cone murders we've had in the past few weeks.
Hashtag Cones Lives Matter. Episode 4, The Cone Strike Back. No, wait, this would be episode 5, wouldn't it? That is definitely unfortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. So, 3 laps to go. And Walsh is set in the previous lap, not this one, the fastest lap of the race, 1:03.77, so certainly he's okay with fuel. Kankipati is your second place driver. Once again, if I'm not mistaken, he finished 3rd last week. My memory is failing me. Henry Bennett looking forward to the podium. And then it will be the teammates Burke and Van der Sloot. John Downing in 6th, Rafael Cuesta in 7th, and a good comeback for Dave Melnarovic because he's up to P8 and he is the last car on the lead lap.
I say a good drive is John Downing. He's up 3 spots from where he started. He's had a very, I don't want to say non-exciting. He's had a, every time we saw him, he was either getting overtaken or just recovering from something, but no spins, just constant pace from John Downing. This is definitely what he needs, and he's still looking for that win that was unfortunately mistaked by him in the opening round in Phoenix.
My mistake, of course, there are 5 cars on the lead lap. The last one is Shervin van der Sloot, as we have 2 to go here in Road Atlanta. Dave Walsh marching towards his 2nd race victory in a row, the first on a road course, so he's showing to be the complete package, at least in these very early days of the broadcasted season, even though we are at the midway point of the championship right now. This is round 6, and of course he will be certainly among the week 5 among the protagonists next week in Las Vegas. And in just a second you will see the flagman wave the white flag, and here we go. Sale la Blanca here in Road Atlanta. 1 lap for Dave Walsh to celebrate his 2nd race victory in a row.
You're definitely going for that commentator's jinx, right?
No. First of all, I'm not superstitious. I am Italian, but I'm not superstitious. So, you know, I don't believe in curses, jinxes, etc. I only occasionally dish them out involuntarily, you know?
Well, this is definitely going to be involuntary. If he does spin out, it's all on you. Also, that was the first Surly LeBlanca that was actually done on the last lap at the start of it, as we kind of missed the entire last lap in Sonoma because we were so freaking out about that fight.
And of course, the yellow flag finish in Phoenix, but this time none of that. Dave Walsh, fantastic performance. Take it away, Austin.
Fantastic performance, and underneath the Suzuki sign, and for the first time, Dave Walsh is going to win here at Road Atlanta under a green flag as he takes his 2nd victory in the NTT Indycar Open Strength of Field broadcaster race here on Apex Racing TV. Ajord Katapati takes another P2 with Henry Bennett in P3. Your top 3 of today was Walsh, Kankapati, and Bennett. Looking at Shane Burke for Syntec, as these guys they were so fast that the other guys haven't even came across the halfway point of the track yet. Van der Sloot sitting in 5th right now, comfortable ahead and behind him as he's passed Laura Gerhardt, who she's had a good race today. She's moved up 3 spots. She started way down the field, but sitting in 9th place, I believe Laura, she will be happy with that finish.
I'm sure of that, yes. Another driver, Laura Gerhardt, that competitive on both the road and the oval, always ever present in the top split. So Burke is home, and Van der Sloot, of course, big regrets for Van der Sloot because he had a fantastic pit strategy, but then undid that coming out of the pits, cold tires, mistake in the chicane. Here he comes, and he was actually the last driver we were waiting for. And so as the drivers take their parade lap. Of course, photo opportunity for the photographers of the teams you see here. I think we can go through the official race results, Austin, for tonight's beautiful event in Road Atlanta.
Yes, we are. And after I gotta say that's so far has been a very fun, the cleanest race that we had, even though we did have a few incidents here and there, but it was a very entertaining to watch from start to finish. Oysen Walls takes his second victory in our broadcasted series. He's followed up by Arjun Katapati and Henry Bennett in third, Shane Birkin fourth, Sherman Vandersloot in fifth, John Downing in sixth, Rafael Acuesta in seventh, David Marilanitz, great recovery drive into P8, Lauren Gerhardt moving up to P9, Mark Usher, unfortunately disqualified, finishes at P10. Paul Morgan with that cooking engine, who I believe he's selling steaks right now in the pit. He is selling steaks for $5.99 in the pit lane. In P11th, I am Keyman. In P12, Daniel Barrison. In P13, and Renek Sikora in P14 finishes off our top split race, which it's very. This early on this season, I wasn't expecting we would hit top split this fast, like a actual splitted race. We had 30 drivers registered. They split evenly. 29 drivers registered. 14 in this lobby, 13 in the second lobby. I kind of want to see how the second lobby compared to this one. Probably a bit slower. Definitely a bit slower. And I'm just excited for what Vegas is going to bring to us next time, as I believe we're going to have interviews right now.
Yes, Austin, I think standing with you, we have our second place finisher for tonight. So Arjuna Kankipati should be standing here with Austin.
Yeah, hey guys, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you feeling?
That was a eventful race. You know, Mark spinning in front of me at the beginning of the race kind of compromised my strategy, which was just to save a bunch of fuel and try and see what happened on strategy. But you know, after the pit stop, it was super close. I was very marginal on fuel, like to the point where I wasn't sure if I was going to make it. But I still don't know how I managed to avoid hitting the wall, you know, in that spin. It looked like, though, you could put a piece of paper between me and the wall, but, you know, Ozen just had a great job, great pace the entire race, so congrats to him. It was a good win.
Yeah, Ocean's also sitting in the interview waiting area as well, but you did have that one spin which kind of threw away your race in the battle for the lead. What was going through your mind for that?
You know, like I said, I was so marginal on fuel. Like I knew that I had to get into his draft in order to actually make it to the finish and have any chance of beating him. So I was burning push to passes. I was pushing as hard as I could while still saving fuel. And you know, he was just doing a great job of keeping just out of range for me to get comfortable. So just a little bit of a, you know, this is what happens in these top split races when you have some strong guys, right? So just a small mistake, and I'm glad I didn't die at least.
All right. Well, Las Vegas is next week. Are you going to change your strategies in any way and driving around in a pack on a oval, which is definitely going to be a lot more people since we did finally get a splitted race of 1 and 2. So we have 29 drivers registered. I believe the entire field will be maxed out to 27 next week. What are your thoughts on going to be racing around those drivers?
Well, actually, this is my last race of the season in the IndyCar. I'm going to have to take the rest of the season off to travel a bit, but you know, it's been a great season so far. I'm a little disappointed I won't be able to race in a few more of these races that you're broadcasting. So I just wanted to thank you for taking the initiative, and hopefully you guys are still doing it next season when I'm back with a vengeance.
Oh, we definitely will be doing this for a long, long time. I must say it was also nice racing with you against you in Petit Le Mans. It was fun.
Oh yeah, well, which class were you in?
GT3s.
Oh, nice. That was an interesting race with some of those DPs.
Yes, it was fun. But yeah, anyone before you go and take your vacation, anyone you want to shout out?
Yeah, my entire team. They've been super supportive, and Zach at Turn Racing is also a great sponsor of ours. And again, just thanks to you guys for putting this on and making this race split. It's great. It's great to see this participation.
We have inspired the iRacing community. But Thank you for a great performance and thank you for a great race. As I believe now we should bring in our winner after he sprayed the champagne all over the people in the pit lane. Oisin Walsh. Bring him in here. Howdy, 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 Mr. Walsh. Congrats on another victory.
Yeah, that went a lot better than I expected. I usually have pretty good pace in road races and then spin out at one point, so it was nice to be consistent to an extent for once. And I think this is the first time I've probably ever had to actually fuel save in a road race. So yeah, it feels nice to do it.
Yeah, after a dominant performance in Phoenix, we were just expecting that we were just only going to see you on ovals. I was saying to myself, I'm like, man, Walsh in that Fortnite car, I need to see him again. And then, boom, out of nowhere, you appear again and just absolutely destroy everybody today. But you were pressured a little bit by Kenapaldi. Was there any strategy in your mind?
Well, the first stint I went a lap longer than everyone. I thought everyone was going to go to the lap I did. So on the last lap of the first stint, I was I think like 5 seconds off pace, trying to trying to make it, and I was running out in pit lane just barely. So I barely made it, and then the second stint, I knew I could push, and I thought that Arjuna would have to save behind me, and then he stayed right with me, like within a second for the first few laps until he spun. So I think what he was trying to do was just get close to me so he could save more fuel. So I was trying to use the push to pass to get him away so he couldn't save fuel. And he was just keeping the pressure on. And then luckily, once he spun out, I think he had to start saving fuel. So I was able to just pull away and use a push to pass, just get the fastest lap instead.
All right, all right. Marco, I believe you have some questions for Mr. Walsh.
First of all, hello, Dave. Happy to have you here once again. And first of all, congratulations. And secondly, are you looking forward to Las Vegas next week?
I don't know. I've never run open at Vegas, so I'll see what happens. I meant to run last week, but I ended up seeing a movie with some friends, so I wasn't home. So I think I should be home next week. I don't know. I don't. I've never run open at a track like that, so I'll have to just see how it goes. I have no clue what to expect.
Thank you very much. My congratulations once again. Before we let you go, any shout out you'd like to give?
Just team talent, Josh Chin. He made the setup, so I think it is just the Craig setup shop set, but I'm not going to complain if I won with it.
Thank you very much, Dave. We shall catch you hopefully next week.
All right, thanks.
I believe we had Mr. Melgarquitz, who I really wanted to speak to.
Oh no, yeah, he disappeared.
Yeah, he was in the interview waiting area. Then I think he.
I wanted to talk to him.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to him as well, but I think he got wind of those steaks cooking in the pit lane, and I'm getting that smell's filling the commentary box, so I'm kind of getting hungry a little bit. So, Marco, once as always, thank you for the wonderful camera broadcasting and graphics today, brought to you by SEK Gaming and Apex Racing TV. As everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us today. I know we have a few special listeners with us today. Y'all know who you are. And yeah, thank you, the entire iRace community, for supporting this race. And I'm just excited for Vegas next week. Can it be next Friday? No, can it be? Anyway, thank you, everybody, for joining us. I've been joined by Marco Barbonera. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night. Please tell me we are muted.